The 2024-25 season has been a complete disaster for Hull City, as the Tigers find themselves in the Championship relegation zone. Last season they narrowly missed out on the playoffs and had the likes of Fabio Carvalho, Tyler Morton, Liam Delap and Jadon Philogene on the books. So where has it all gone wrong for the Tigers? Well, they bizarrely sacked manager Liam Rosenior and replaced him with Tim Walter, who was axed just a week ago. But this is where we come in, as today we are taking charge of managerless Hull City with the end goal of winning them the Champions League trophy. Now, if you do enjoy the content, boys, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to get 5,000 subscribers by the start of 2025. Let's now jump into FC25 and save Hull City. So this is the Hull City team we've loaded into an FC25, and you know what? On initial looking, it's not even that bad. Now, the Tigers start out with a 4-3-3 holding formation, but I'm not really a fan of this. And reason being, we have got so many good attacking players at the football club. I feel like we need a more attacking formation to get the best out of our team. So we have had a play about with the starting 11 and the formation, and we've decided on a 4-3-3 attack. We've changed some personnel around in the first team, and look how much stronger we are looking on paper. Now we've added players like Rushworth, Giles, Alzate, Miller, Bedia and Mechlem to the team. And in terms of FC25, I'm struggling to see how this squad of players can be in the Championship relegation zone in December. That is absolutely embarrassing. We'll also have a very decent bench going into season number 1 with loads of good players on there. And even in our reserves, boys, so many options. I genuinely think without signing a single player, we are one of the favourites for promotion to the Premier League this season, which really helps me out because, as you know, on this channel we always ban transfers in season 1. We cannot sign anyone until season 2, but we're starting off with a very decent squad for a change. Now, I do think Hull City's strengths lie in their fullbacks and wingers, so we will be going with a wing player tactical vision for this rebuild. And we have got some very exciting young players at the club, like Charlie Hughes, who we've already used this year. He is 20-year-old and 68 rated. I think I got him to 82 rated in my Stockport County rebuild, so we will be keeping a keen eye on him once again. Abu Kamara looks incredible, 68 rated, 20-year-old, ripped it up in League 1 for Portsmouth last season, and I'm going to be keeping a good eye on his development as well. And one player I've noticed who's on loan at Hull City is Carl Rushworth, who's 72 rated and 22-year-old. He is an excellent goalkeeper in FC25, and he could be the first signing we make permanently as Hull City boss. Now, in season 1, Hull City do start off with £9 million in the bank, which is a really healthy transfer budget, and for the first time since I can remember, we don't have a single key first team player out of contract at the end of the season, which I can't lie, lads, that is a really refreshing change for me. However, our first choice goalkeeper and our first choice striker are only loan players. Now, very interestingly, boys, we start season 1 with a Finnish left midfielder in our youth academy. If you watched my recent Dundee FC rebuild, you would know we sent our youth scouts to Finland, and he would have come in handy in that video. He is going to get promoted to the senior team, boys, and sent straight out on loan. Now, in recent rebuilds, I've been asking you, where should I send my youth scouts? And today we are going to go with Samir's comment and send our youth scouts to Kuwait, and hopefully we can uncover some gems from the Middle East. Now, I think that's pretty much everything covered in season 1 as transfers are banned. We've picked a starting 11, picked a formation, analysed the squad, the finances, and sent our youth scouts off to Kuwait. All that's left to do now is simulate forward straight through to the end of season number 1. And with the squad we have actually got, I would be really disappointed if we're not in the playoffs at the very least. We have arrived at the end of season number 1, boys, and honestly, someone needs to give me a job in professional football, as we have won the championship with Hull City on 111 points, losing just 3 games all season, and that would make Hull City the best ever championship side with that points return. And you know what that means, boys? In season 2, Hull are back in the Premier League. In the FA Cup, though, knocked out in the 3rd round by Sheffield United. However, this did allow us to focus primarily on the league, and clearly it's paid off. So this is the Hull City team that has gained promotion to the Premier League, and it looks very strong on paper. Rushworth and Bellumi are our best players at 77 rated, with the likes of Omar, Miller and Giles not far behind. Now, heading into season number 2, I definitely want to make Carl Rushworth's loan permanent, as he looks like an excellent young goalkeeper. We also need to bring in a new striker to replace Bedia, as his loan is expiring, and at 72 rated and 29-year-old, we won't be making it permanent. And I also think we're lacking a real quality centre-back, as Jones and Hughes are good championship level centre-backs, but they will not be good enough for the Premier League, so we definitely need to identify a centre-back as well. So as of right now, it'll be a goalkeeper, striker and centre-back coming in season number 2, but this, as always, is completely budget dependent. Now, we sent our scouts off to Kuwait in the Middle East, and the results weren't the best, but the pick of the bunch is Akil Khan, a 15-year-old 55 rated centre mid who has got 92 to 94 potential. He looks insane and someone we need to be getting out on loan to get him developed and get on playing first team football for Hull City. We did also find a decent winger, Nadim El Dossari. He is 16-year-old, 61 rated with 82 to 88 potential. He'll be going out on loan next season. Now in terms of stats, Chris Bedia was excellent, getting 23 goals in all competitions. However, we will not be signing him permanently. But one thing that was seriously impressive this season, we actually kept 20 clean sheets in all competitions, just showing how good our defence and goalkeeper were and why it's so important we re-sign Rushworth next season. So season 1 was an absolute monumental success. We now need to get into season 2, get ready for the Premier League and keep Hull City up. So we have arrived in season number 2, boys, and we have got 57 million in the bank, which is going to go a long way to helping us improve our team this summer. And our first order of business in season number 2 is to bring Carl Rushworth back to Hull City. 78 rated, 23-year-old, great stats, 5-star weak foot as well, extremely affordable. We're going to be paid anywhere from 15.8 to 19.8 million. Let's bring the man back to Hull City. And Carl Rushworth is officially ours. We've paid 17 million and he's signed a 5-year deal. Now, as we know, in this transfer window we do need to sign a first choice striker, and I want to bring back one of Hull City's former loanees, Liam Delap. 76 rated, 22-year-old, decent stats and a 4-star weak foot. But the best thing about Delap is the price we're going to pay, anywhere from 11.8 to 14.8 million. We're definitely going to bring him back to Hull City and we won't be paying much money along the way. And Liam Delap is officially a Hull player. We've paid 13 million and he's signed a 5-year deal. Now, after bringing Rushworth and Delap back to Hull City, we're left with 22 million in the bank. However, we do have a lot of players listed for transfer to help us recuperate some funds, and now we're going to turn our eye to look for a first choice centre back. And after some intensive searching, we have found the centre back we want to bring to Hull in this transfer window, and that man is Alejandro Francis, who is currently playing for Girona in La Liga. He's 75 rated, 22-year-old, great stats, 4-star weak foot, and once again, boys, very affordable, as we're going to pay anywhere from 9.8 to 12.3 million for his services. The bargains just keep rolling in season number 2, and that would leave us with a little bit of money left over to bring in a very special signing. And Alejandro Francis signs for the club for 11 million on a 5-year deal once again. Now, this leaves us with 9 million pounds left in the bank, but we do have quite a few outgoings taking place off camera, and we are going to work on a deal to bring a certain someone back to Hull City. And lads, a little bit of work has gone in behind the scenes to make an unbelievable signing for Hull City, and we have brought a former loanee who was a massive fan favourite back to the club, as Fabio Carvalho is officially a permanent Hull City player. But this was a very costly deal, as Brentford did not want to lose him. We've had to cough up 14.5 million plus Abdul Kadir Omar as part of the deal. We've massively overpaid, but I do not care. Fabio Carvalho is back at Hull City at 22-year-old, 77 rated, has that special something, looks like a brilliant player, and our business in this transfer window has been outstanding in my opinion. But the incomings do not stop there. We have loaned in Seni Mayulu from PSG for 1 season. He's 19 years old, he's 70 rated. We have got an option to buy him for £4 million at the end of the season, and I'm fairly tempted, you know, to throw him straight in the starting 11, as this guy has got excellent potential in this year's game. But these signings have left us with just £2 million in the bank, but there has been some outgoings to help fund these signings. Kicking things off, Sean McLaughlin has joined Birmingham City for 880 grand. Callum Jones has left the club for 550 grand. Casey Palmer is out the door for 1.8 million. Brandon Fleming left the club for 730 grand. Dogakan Sinik has left the club for 1.8 million. And we do still have a few players listed for transfer, but we definitely won't be making any more signings. And that means this will be the Hull City team to take us into season 2 and our first in the Premier League of this rebuild. We do look a little bit weak in areas. Our midfield isn't the strongest. Charlie Hughes and Drame aren't the best at the back, but I do think we're going to have a decent season. I do think we've got enough to stay up. Now, our bench is probably lacking, to be honest. I'm fully aware it's not the strongest bench. Hopefully, as we progress over the rebuild, this bench gets a lot stronger. Now, any other outgoings will take place off camera if anyone else leaves the club, and I will bring you up to date at the end of the season. As of right now, we will be simulating forward straight through to the end of season 2. I think we've had an excellent transfer window. I do think we've got enough quality in the squad to stay up, so let's see if we do. So we have arrived at the end of season number 2, boys, and our first season in the Premier League was actually a success, as we finished 11th in the Premier League on 48 points. We were only only actually 4 points off a top half finish in our first season back in the Premier League, which I think is outstanding. But we did concede 71 goals, which out of all the teams in the Premier League was the third worst in the entire division. That's made my mind up for me. We have to improve the defence going into season 3. And we are really struggling in the FA Cup as we once again lost in the first round. However, we did have a difficult tie with West Ham. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season number 2. And you know what? We have got a very strong team on paper. 3 players now over 80 rated, which we love to see, with Delap, Giles, Miller and Francis not far behind. Mayulu grew to 75 rated in the centre midfield, which we love to see. We can sign him for just 4 million in season 3, which we definitely will be doing. But lads, we conceded far too many goals this season, and for me that means I have to bring in a centre back to replace Charlie Hughes to stop us leaking so many goals. I'm willing to use the vast majority of my money to bring in a very good centre back to the club. However, I don't think we're going to have a massive budget. I'm predicting a maximum of 40 million. I'm willing to spend at least 35 million on a centre back. Now, this idiot did forget to send our youth scouts to Kuwait, obviously. However, Akil Khan is now 16. He's 58 rated. We're going to get him out on loan, and I'm hoping he can have a massive growth spurt over the next 2 seasons, come back to us as our first choice midfielder. Now, in terms of stats, Mohamed Belloumi was our best player, getting 20 goals and 4 assists, and Liam Delap and Fabio Carvalho both hit double figures for goals, which we love to see. So I would consider season 2 another massive success as we comfortably survived in the Premier League. We need to tighten our defence in season 3 and try and aim for a top half finish. So we have arrived in season 3 and our budget is a lot less than expected, as we've only got 29 million pounds in the bank, and that means it's highly likely we're only bringing a centre back in this transfer window, which isn't a problem, but we need to try and find a bit of a bargain. Now boys, a centre back has been acquired, and given the fact our funds were so low, I actually think we've made an insane signing, as Konstantinos Koulirakis is now a Hull City player. He's 22-year-old, 79 rated, left-footed, and will slot in beautifully on the left side of our defence. Has great stats, really decent potential, and he's joined us for 24 million pounds, which I know we've slightly overpaid, but it's a massive boost to our back line, and hopefully we can stop leaking so many goals in season 3. However boys, in the excitement of bringing Koulirakis to the club, I have made quite a substantial mistake, as I have forgot to make Seni Mayulu a permanent signing at Hull City. He would have been a great signing at 20-year-old and 75 rated. As I try to loan him back in, PSG will not allow the loan to take place. We are going to try and sell a few players in this window, hopefully recuperate some transfer funds, and I will try and buy him permanently. Now boys, after tirelessly working behind the scenes, we have managed to bring Seni Mayulu back to the football club. However, we have had to fork out 17 million pounds to bring him back to the club. One little mistake has cost us 13 million pounds of the club's money. I don't care, he's back, he's permanently a Hull City player, and I imagine he will be an in-game centre midfielder for us. Now, in order to bring Mayulu back to the club, we had to sell quite a few players. Anthony Rasiopi has joined Birmingham for 2.2 million. Academy graduate Tavo Jimmy has joined Watford for 1.4 million. Matty Jacob has joined Coventry for 1.5 million. Will Jarvis has also joined Watford for 1.5 million. Xavier Simmons has joined Norwich for 1.8 million. And we have managed to loan out youngster Akil Khan 2 seasons. Now, we are left with just 500 grand in the bank, so our transfer window is definitely done. And that means this will be the Hull City team to take us into season number 3. We are definitely looking stronger on the pitch. No one in the team is below 76 rated, which we really like to see. Imagine players like Giles, Koulirakis, Francis and Miller will all reach 80 rated as well this season, which will be a really big help for us. And this season we do actually have some decent options on the bench. Now, we aren't looking to sell anyone else in this transfer window. So all that's really left to do for us boys is to simulate forward straight through to the end of season 3. I think we've got a really good squad on paper, and I do think we are capable of finishing in the top half. So we have now reached the end of season number 3, and it's once again progression boys, as we have secured a top half finish, finishing on 59 points in 8th position, winning 18 of our games, which is really impressive. We're getting close to European football, 6 points off Liverpool. Let's just keep progressing in season 4. And we have finally managed to get out of the 3rd round of the FA Cup, get into the quarterfinals, where unfortunately we lost on penalties to Brentford. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season number 3. What a team we are building here at Hull City. So many players now above 80 rated, plenty of players in the mid 80s opportunities, which we love to see. However, we do have 2 weak links in our starting 11, and that is Steven Alzate and Cody Drameh. We do need to start focusing on replacing these 2 players, but however, heading into season number 4, I think we're going to get about 30 to 40 million pounds to spend. Probably won't have enough money to replace both players, so we will focus on bringing a centre midfielder in season number 4. However, if the board want to throw us a decent transfer budget, I'm not going to complain. Now, in terms of stats, wow, Liam Delap has well and truly arrived back at Hull City. 35 goals in all competitions for Delap. That is absolutely insane. So once again in season 3, we just continued progressing. Let's now get into season 4, bring in a central midfielder, start looking towards getting qualified for Europe. So we've arrived in season number 4, and I am just too good at predicting transfer budgets, as we have got 38 million in the bank. More than enough to bring an adequate central midfielder in. Definitely not enough to bring in a right back, and I'm not really looking to sell anyone in the first team squad, but let's just see how much we spend on a midfielder first. And boys, we have found an absolute monster in the central midfield position in Dalio Esogo, who is currently playing in the Championship with Leicester City. He is 22 years old, he's 79 rated. Just look at them stats, boys, for a centre midfielder. Looks like an absolute physical specimen who can get his foot in and defend. A couple of play styles as well, which is always nice, and he is definitely affordable to us. We're going to be paying anywhere from 26.1 to 32.6 million, and I'm willing to use up most of our budget bringing him to the club, as he looks like an absolute beast. And we have completed the signing of Dario Esogo for 25 million on a 4-year deal. I'm really excited to use this guy, boys. And this leaves us with 11 million pounds in the bank, and with no planned outgoings in this window, we won't be able to bring a new right back to the club, which is something we wanted to do. However, what we can do is scour the free agents list and the loan market for a very capable backup striker. And lads, we have managed to bring in a free agent striker in Nathan Opoku, 25-year-old and 71 rated. He is literally just an upgrade on Mason Burstow. He is a decent option off the bench. He has got some pace, he has got decent shot power and agility. Might be able to trouble some defences coming on late in games. However, with the bulk of our budget being spent on Esogo in midfield, we were never going to be able to bring in an adequate backup striker in this window. He should do a job for 1 or 2 seasons. And all that matters is he makes our bench better, and that's all I care about. And that leaves us with 9 million pounds in the bank, but I've not brought any coaches in for so long, and that's hindering our development, so I have to spend a good chunk of this money bringing coaches in. We do have a lot of contracts to renew to key first team players in season number 4. So in terms of incomings, that's probably us done. In terms of outgoings, I am not looking to sell anyone, and that means this will be the Hull City team to take us into season 4. Constantly improving, the squad's constantly getting better. I'm hoping for a big season in terms of development for quite a few of these players, and I'm hoping by the end of the season we are in some form of European competition. And we do actually have quite a decent bench now with plenty of options. You may notice that our youth academy graduate Al Dasari is back from his loan at 72 rated, an 18-year-old. Looks like a decent player. And you know what, lads, there's not really much more we can do but simulate straight forward to the end of season number 4. We're going to keep it short and sweet in this transfer window. Made an excellent signing, brought in a decent backup striker. Now the goal is Europe, but can we do it? So we have arrived at the end of season number 4, boys, and I honestly do not know whether I should laugh or cry, as we have actually finished 5th in the Premier League. We scored 89 goals, which is absolutely insane. However, we finished 2 points off 4th place Chelsea, meaning we have missed out on Champions League qualification. Really gutted with what we're playing Champions League football in season 5. We will be in Europe in the Europa League, but 89 goals in 38 games is absolutely insane. We just need to tighten up our defence. Now in the FA Cup, we had a disaster, losing in the 3rd round 2-1 to Stoke City. That is genuinely not good enough. So this is how the team is looking at the end of season 4, and we do now have a very strong team on paper. Bellumi has become the first player at the club to reach 90 rated, and we have got loads of high 80 rated players in our team. Going into season number 5, we definitely need to bring in a new right back to replace Drameh, and I'm willing to use most of our budget on replacing him. However, I do think we're going to get about 60 million in season number 5, which should help us bring in a proper world-class right back. And if we have any remaining money, we do need a better backup striker, but let's just see how much we've got and which right back we bring in first. So in terms of stats, Liam Delap, man, this man is unbelievable. 35 goals and 9 assists in 41 games. That's insane. And Fabio Carvalho again, 24 goals and 17 assists. That's fantastic. So season 4 was a success. We will be playing Europa League football next season. However, I am just absolutely gutted to see we're not in the Champions League. Hopefully with the right additions in season 5, we can go one step further and get into the Champions League. And And before I forget, boys, we have actually had some transfer business take place. Charlie Hugh's contract was expiring at the end of the season and he would not accept a new deal as he wanted guaranteed first team minutes. He left to sign for Brighton for 15.5 million, and we went out into the transfer market, brought in Robert Renan from Borussia Dortmund for 13 million pounds. He's 79 rated, 24-year-old, and he's a very good backup centre-back. Lads, we have arrived in season 5 and the board have dug deep and give us 101 million pounds to spend in the transfer window, which is insane, and we are going to make the most of every single penny. So we need a right back, boys. Who are we going to go for? Well, we're going to go for a player who I absolutely love because of his loan spell at Bolton a few years ago, Connor Bradley, who is currently in Serie A playing for Bologna. 24-year-old, 84 rated, absolutely brilliant stats, and he is super affordable as well, as we're going to be paying anywhere from 39 to 49 million pounds for him. I think this would be an excellent signing, a massive upgrade on Dramé, so let's bring him to Hull City. And Connor Bradley is in, boys, for just 45 million, and I think this is an outstanding signing. However, the signing of Bradley still leaves us with 52 million in the bank, and looking at the team on paper, whilst it does look very strong, I do think we need to replace Miller out on the left. He is 28-year-old, 81 rated, he's not going to get much better. Don't think he's good enough to get us into the Champions League starting every single game, so we're going to pool the rest of our money into signing a new left winger, and we may also sell Miller in the process to raise some more funds to bring in an even better winger. And we have sold Liam Miller, boys. He has gone to the Bundesliga to sign for Bayern Munich for 30.8 million, which is a fantastic deal for him, leaving us with 79 million in the bank to bring in a new first choice left winger. And after some extensive searching, we have identified the left winger we want to bring to Hull City, and that man is Malik Fofana, who is currently playing for Villarreal. He is 23-year-old, he's 84 rated, his stats are amazing, he's got 5-star weak foot, and to top things off, we're only going to be paying anywhere from 49 to 61 million for him, meaning he definitely fits into our price tag, meaning we can definitely afford him. He's an excellent young left winger, and he would be a massive upgrade on Miller. And Malik Fofana signs, boys, for 60 million, and this is an outstanding signing. And with Fofana and Bradley in the starting 11, look how much stronger our team is looking on paper. And if this team is not capable of getting into the Champions League this season, I will be massively disappointed, especially given the fact that we've got plenty of decent options on our bench as well. Now, after bringing Fofana and Bradley to the club, we're left with 16 million in the bank, which I don't think is going to be viable to bring anyone else to the football club. We could try and bring in a backup striker with this money, however there won't be a massive upgrade on Apoku, and that can be a priority for our next transfer window in season 6. Now, this season we are in the Europa League, and I'm not going to bore you by showing you every single Europa League fixture we have got, but my goal for that competition is to get to at least the quarter-final stage, with the overall goal of season 5 being Champions League qualification. Now, I don't plan on signing anyone else, and I definitely don't plan on selling anyone at the club currently, so as of right now we will be simulating forward straight through to the end of season number 5, and let's see where we are at the end of the season. So we have arrived at the end of season number 5, boys, and in season 6 we will finally be playing Champions League football, as we have finished 3rd in the Premier League on 72 points. It was only actually 1 point off winning the title, as we had a +7 goal difference on eventual winners West Ham, so we literally needed 1 more point to secure the Premier League title. We were slightly better in the FA Cup, making the 5th round, but we were beaten by Brentford 3-1. We are missing some massive opportunities to go far in this competition. And in the Europa League, oh my god, what a complete failure. We lost in the playoff round to Besiktas 2-1 on aggregate, but I have to say, boys, at the time we played them, our squad was ravished with suspensions and injuries. Now, despite what has been a pretty injury-ravaged season, we have seen quite a lot of growth across our starting 11, with Carvalho growing to 89 rated, so he is not far off 90 rated, and neither are players like Francis, Delap and Mayulu. However, looking at the team objectively, where do we need to improve in season number 6? Well, we definitely need to bring in a left back to replace Ryan Giles, as he is not quite at the standard for Champions League football. We may even look to replace Rushworth in goal, as I don't really think an 83 rated goalkeeper is quite good enough for the top end of the Champions League. And finally, we will be bringing a backup striker to the football club, and then I think we'll have an outstanding squad on paper. Now, in terms of stats, it was actually Mohamed Belloumi who had an excellent season, getting 21 goals and 13 assists, but I want to talk about the drop-off from Liam Delap. He was insane last season, getting more goal contributions than games played, This season, he's actually struggled a bit, only scoring 14 times and getting 5 assists, with Carvalho and Fofana having significantly better seasons than him. Hopefully in Season 6 he can re-find his shooting boots, as we are going to need him more than ever in the Champions League. So we've arrived in season number 6. We've got 117 million to spend, which is really nice. Goalkeeper, left back, backup striker, and we're done. So I think priority number 1 in Season 6 is to bring a new left back to the club, and we have identified Serginho Dest of Napoli. He is 28-year-old, 84 rated, has outstanding stats, and he's very affordable, boys. We'll be paying anywhere from 37 to 46 million for him, and this would leave us with a substantial budget to bring a real quality goalkeeper through the door. And Serginho Dest is in for 40 million, and we've got a great deal here, leaving us with around 73 million to bring in a goalkeeper, and I'm really confident we can get our top target with the funds we've got available to us. And lads, we have only gone and made an insane goalkeeper signing, as we have brought Anatoly Trubin in from Premier League winners West Ham United. He's 28-year-old, he is 86 rated, helped West Ham to win the Premier League last season, and we have paid just 50 million pounds for his services, which I think is an outstanding deal. And we have brought in one of the best goalkeepers in the Premier League. That can surely only make us much better. And we have finally managed to bring in a decent backup striker, as David Datro Fofana has joined us on a 1-year loan from Chelsea with an optional future fee of 21 million pounds, which I think is a very, very good deal. He's 26-year-old, 81 rated, really decent stats, and he will be an excellent backup to Liam Delap. But someone just please help me understand why Chelsea would loan a player to us when we finished so comfortably above them last season. So we do still have 18 million in the bank, but I don't think that money is going to bring in anyone who gets onto our bench or in our starting 11, so we're just going to keep hold of it for renewing contracts and bringing coaches to the club. So our transfer window for me is finished. I'm not expecting to sell anyone, so this will be the Hull City team to take us into season 6 and our first season in the Champions League. We've got an outstanding starting 11 now on paper. I think we can cause literally any side in the Champions League major issues, and just look at that bench, boys. We have got so many options, so many players above 80 rated. And speaking of the Champions League, it is our first ever season in that competition, but I think our squad is very, very strong, and if we don't get to the quarterfinals at least, I'm going to be very, very disappointed. We are now going to simulate forward straight through to the end of season 6, and let's see how Hull City get on in our first season in the Champions League. So we have arrived at the end of season number 6, boys, and it's more progression in the Premier League, as we have finished second in the league on 78 points, but Manchester City were comfortable winners on 91 points. They were 13 points clear of us, and they are easily the best team in England right now. Now, our performance in the FA Cup in this rebuild has been absolutely shocking. We've been knocked out in the 4th round by League One Preston 1-0. But something that isn't shameful is that after just one season in the Champions League, we have instantly made the Champions League final. And just look at this, boys. We went unbeaten in the league phase, getting 20 points, winning 6 of our games, narrowly scraping past Real Sociedad in the round of 16, 3-2 over 2 legs. And we once again rode our luck in the quarter-final, knocking out Real Madrid 4-3 on aggregate despite losing the second leg. The semi-finals were a bit more comfortable, as we knocked AC Milan out 7-4 over 2 legs. Looked like a really cracking tie. Set up a final with Liverpool, and this is going to be a very difficult tie. So this is the Hull City team that has got us to a Champions League final. We've got 2 players who are over 90 rated, plenty of high 80 rated players. No one in the starting 11 is before 85 rated. We've got a very, very strong team on paper, and we've also got a very, very strong bench, boys. Most of our players on the bench are above 80 rated as well, and I genuinely think we have built an excellent team at Hull City. Now, in terms of stats, Liam Delap refound his goal scoring form in season 6 after a really disappointing season 5. He got 37 goals and 8 assists. However, Mohamed Belloumi took the title of best player, as he got 26 goals and 18 assists. So we're clearly a goal threat. We just need to do it one more time in the Champions League final, and we'll be doing that right now as we are taking on Liverpool with the chance to gain Champions League glory. So here we go, boys. It is Champions League final time. Hull City versus Liverpool from Wembley Stadium, an all-English final at an English stadium. We love to see it. A little bit of a kit clash. I maybe should have put us in our away kit, boys, but we move. And Liverpool are pressing really high. They've got 4 players in our half, and I am struggling a little bit with the kit clash. Oh, it's good defending by Robertson, who's still going, by the way. We're 6 seasons in and Robertson is still starting for Liverpool. Oh, that's lovely from Dest. And Fofana, we can get him here. Dest could be in. Oh, he's not going to get there. Oh, could he? No shots on goal from either side just yet. It's been very frantic in midfield. It's a good tackle, though. The limit. What a ball. Come on, Bradley. Against your former club. Fofana at the back stick. He's got time to bring it down.
Nope.
Oh, what a save by Di Gregorio. Farner is offside. He's offside. Or is he? Hang on a sec. I don't think he's offside, boys. He's not. It's 1-0 to Hull City. I was convinced Fofana was offside then. He must have just spring the offside trap and we are 1-0 up. Plenty of space for Dest. Plays the ball in. And, well, apparently Fofana was not offside. Oh, no. Out to him. What a tackle by Francis. Chance hasn't gone. Chukwueze. That's a free header. What a save by Trubbin. We can't get the ball back. What a save by Trubbin. Oh, my God. It's just a mess. My players are falling over each other in the box. They won't go to the ball. What are we doing, man? Far too easy to let Liverpool back in the game with the first real chances. Really doesn't help when two of my defenders are falling over each other in our own box. Absolute comical goal to concede. It's half time. Really, really frustrated with how we've just conceded. We've just got to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves down and go again in the second half. Now, hopefully none of our players are going to fall over each other in the second half. He's got pace. He's quicker than him. Oh, he's quick. Delap. Make the run. Make the run. Make the run. Delap, what a ball, it's got to be, it's got to be. It is, it's 2-1, Liam Delap with a goal, our star man. And straight from the kickoff, we put that really disappointing goal we conceded behind us as we're back in the lead. Now let's not concede any stupid goals, boys. Bradley, good tackle by Tyler Morton, two former academy graduates of Liverpool. They've brought Chukwueze off, brought Mateus Tell on, who's actually a fantastic player. Carvalho, good ball. Dest. Barner. Delap. What a ball. Liam Delap. Oh, what a save by De Gregio. Back to Tell. Good tackle again from Koulirakis. Him and Francis have been our star players today. Lads, into the final 5 minutes of this game. Liverpool haven't really put a glove on us in this second half, if I'm honest. And they probably won't score now that I've just said that. Get out to him. Good. What a tackle by Fabio Carvalho. He's our centre attacking midfielder. He's blown the whistle, boys. Hull City are the champions of Europe. We have beaten Liverpool 2-1 in the final, and now EAFC has just had a very recent update just days ago. Can we finally watch a team actually lift the Champions League trophy? Or is the invisible trophy glitch still going to be here? And get in there, boys. We can actually watch Hull City lift the Champions League trophy. I think it's been about 5 or 6 rebuilds now where we've not been able to actually watch our team lift the trophy. It's been so frustrating, but finally we can. And Hull City, boys, are the champions of Europe. And that is another rebuild successfully boxed off. So just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as we are trying to get 5,000 subs by the start of 2025. And I will see you next week for another rebuild.